بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد والثناء لله رب العالمين، ثم الصلاة والسلام على سيدنا وعظيمنا وحبيب قلوبنا وشفيع نفوسنا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
So after a couple of week break, we're back to Sورة البقرة, the fifth class. Alhamdulillah, time's flying. So today we're doing the fourth and fifth ayah. So I'm doing two this time. So if you want to go next. Yep. Okay. The projector seems like it had a bit too much to eat and is a bit fat and short, kind of like me. But you can't really see it, but it's more for me anyway. So I'll try to read it off as much as I can. Or if you want, you can sit a bit closer, which I don't think you want to do. Okay, so the ayah, just press next. The ayah is أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والذين يؤمنون بما أنزل إليك وما أنزل من قبلك وبالآخرة هم يوقنون, which translates us, and those who believe. Remember, we're talking about the pious, the muttaqin, the God-fearing. The ayah starts off with the three letters, alif lam mim. That is the book that there is no doubt in it. A guidance for the pious, or the muttaqin. I like to use the word muttaqin because it encompasses a bit more than just piety. Al-muttaqin, hudan al-muttaqin, the ones who believe in the unseen and they establish prayers, and from what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has gifted them or given them, they give away as charity. And then it goes on to speak more about the muttaqin, the pious. These are the last two ayahs that talk about them. Then it talks about other people. It says, and those who believe in what was revealed to you, the Prophet, and what was revealed before you, and in the hereafter they have yaqeen, a firm, stable faith. So, as an explanation, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, those muttaqin, those pious, are the ones that believe in all the prophets and the divine books, the Torah, the Injil. The Quran says that they are those who believe in what was revealed to the Prophet, i.e. the Quran, and what was sent down to the other apostles preceding, like the Torah, the Injil, the Psalms of David, and the other divine books. Does anyone know any other divine books other than those? Sorry? The Zabur. The Zabur is compared to the Psalms of Dawood alayhi salam. There's actually in the Quran another scripture mentioned, which is the books of Ibrahim alayhi salam. Sorry? Yeah, the scriptures or the tablets of Ibrahim. Okay, if you press next. Okay, now the whole point of this ayah is to explain that what was given to all the prophets and the da'wah they made and the invitation they gave to the people, in essence, is no different from one another. And if you compare a lot of the other religions, there is a lot of, what's the word you want to use? Individualization of their religion and their prophet. They want to make their particular prophet something so special, none of the others were, in fact, to the point that they were very different. Where here, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam came with a book, a message, and a religion that did not compare or did not differ so much from, for example, Nabi Musa or Nabi Ibrahim or Nabi Isa alayhi salam. And same with the books. The essence of those books are the same. So if you click next, and it's not a point of dispersion or hypocrisy. You'll find in other ayahs in the Quran, in Surah Al-Baqarah in particular, in Surah Ali Imran as well, later on you'll find that the Jews and the Christians had a lot of infighting between them. For example, Allah actually kind of makes fun of them, where He says that the Jews say that they are on the haqq, and the Christians say that they are on the haqq, while they believe in the same book, while they follow the same book. And then later He says, you know, the Christians are claiming that Nabi Ibrahim are for themselves, and the Jews are claiming that Nabi Ibrahim is for themselves. He was actually a Christian. They say that Nabi Ibrahim was a Christian, or the Jews say that Nabi Ibrahim was a Jew. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala comes along and He says he was not a Christian, he was not a Jew, and He actually makes fun that, you know, you guys can't, the formalization of those names, Christian and Jew, came much later. And yet you're saying that he's a Christian and he's a Jew. In fact, he's upon the upright religion, Deen al-Hanifa, and this actually later on is proven to be Islam. So as well, the Muslims claim that Nabi Ibrahim is a Muslim. There is proof with that. There is solid proof that comes with that. And they say that Nabi Musa as well. You see that the most mentioned prophet in the Quran is who? Who wants to tell me who the most mentioned by name prophet? Musa. I was hoping one of the kids could answer. That's alright. Nabi Musa is mentioned the most in the Quran. Actually, who knows how many times Nabi Muhammad is named in the Quran by name? 4 times. I was hoping one of the kids would. That's alright. This group, no, that's alright. Nabi Musa is mentioned far more times than Nabi Muhammad. Even more times than Nabi Isa and Nabi Adam. Nabi Adam and Nabi Isa is mentioned 25 times each. It's very interesting. Now, so it's not a point of dispersion or hypocrisy. Allah comes here in the second surah, one of the first ayahs in the book that you open up, and it says, we believe in all of them. We don't just believe in Nabi Muhammad. And you'll find that most people are ignorant of this. You go talk to many people in your workplace, or at school, or on the internet, or wherever it may be, and you say, we love Jesus. We think He was one of the greatest people in mankind. And they'll be a bit surprised. They're like, but you're Muslim. And you're like, yeah, and they don't really understand or comprehend or even have the knowledge that you actually love Prophet Jesus. They're surprised by it. And here Allah is saying that, you know, we don't make a difference between them. Okay. So, here Allah is saying, we believe in all the prophets and we don't make a difference. Now some people come along and say, well, that means that Christianity is the truth and Judaism is the truth and Muslim is the truth. In fact, there's no difference between them because they were all prophets that came with the same message. Therefore, there's no point in converting you to Islam, right? Is there any benefit in converting into Islam? When Allah makes such a statement, He says that there's no difference between them? Well, the answer is no. It doesn't mean that every religion is true. In fact, what it's saying is that if you don't make a distinction between any of the prophets, naturally, you will accept that final prophet, the seal of the prophets, Muhammad ibn Abdullah, sallallahu ala Muhammad wa Muhammad, as the last prophet. And if you reject anything that Prophet Muhammad came with, then you are rejecting one of the prophets. And later, we'll see that rejecting one prophet is tantamount or the same as rejecting all the prophets. We'll see that a bit later. And likewise, in the Shia school of thought, we have many ahadith that say if you reject one of the imams, it's as if you've rejected all of the imams. And this is why we have different, let's call it sects within the branch of Shiism, like the Ismailis, the Waqafis, the Zaydis, who we don't believe that they are on the haqq. The haqq is the Ithna Asharis, the ones that believe in the Sultan. So in Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah 285, the importance of believing in all the prophets is proven. It says, the messenger, the prophet, believes in what was sent down to him from his Lord. And the believers also believe in it. So here it talks about the believers. It's not just the prophet, it's inshallah all of us. and the believers, each one believes in God, His angels, and His books, and His messengers, and we make no division between any one of the messengers. And they say, we hear and we obey. Our Lord grants us thy forgiveness, and unto thee is the homecoming. So here, it's really important as well that angels are mentioned. Why are angels so important? You'll find that even the Jews started making takfir of angels. You know, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when he received the revelation from Jibreel alayhi salam, the Jews did not like that at all. And what they started saying is that Jibreel has actually committed treachery. He's betrayed us. Because he's gone to the Arabs of Quraysh and he hasn't stuck with the Jews. He hasn't come to our people. And they were very offended by that. So they said, Jibreel, yeah, he's not good. He's no good. We like Mikael better. Mikael, he's our homeboy. Jibreel, he lost the plot. But you see, and actually, there's even Muslims, I put that in exclamation marks, Muslims that say Jibreel also made a mistake in that he came down to the wrong guy. He was meant to come down to Imam Ali alayhi salam and not Prophet Muhammad. Astaghfirullah. This is something that we do not believe in at all. He didn't make a mistake, and that's why actually there's rumors going around that when we finish our prayers, we say Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. There was a rumor going around that what the Shias would say is that say Khan al-Amin, Khan al-Amin, Khan al-Amin. Al-Amin is Jibreel alayhi salam, the trustworthy one. That is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has called him, the trustworthy one. And so what happens is, when we say Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, we do the speed hands, Allahu Akbar, some of us go like that, right? And we don't really say it out loud all the time. Sometimes we mouth it, yeah? So we say, and actually, I checked in the mirror, believe it or not, if you lip that, Allahu Akbar, it actually does look like you're saying Khan al-Amin. But anyway, we don't do that. I actually haven't met anyone that says Khan al-Amin. But, but yeah, so there are many rumors and whatever, and so we believe in all the angels, we believe in all the prophets, and we believe in the one God. So, and in all the books and His messengers, and we make no division between them, any one of the messengers. And here I just, as a side note, I really like this part of the ayah where it says, سَمِعْنَا وَأَطَعْنَا, we hear and we obey. What the prophets came down with, and you'll see that Bani Israel were the biggest ones that went against this word. But when the prophets come down, they'll give you a command, and you must listen, and you must obey. And unfortunately, we sometimes, even though we believe in the authority of somebody, the knowledge of somebody, the Quran, the Hadith, the scholars, sometimes because we don't like something, we like to question it to the point that it doesn't need to be questioned so much. And that's why we have now Muslims who, despite homosexuality, for example, being clearly forbidden in the Quran, they say, no, this is outdated, we're moving on, we're much more advanced than this, Islam is not a backwards religion, and so on and so forth. And they've gone against the slogan of the believers where it says we hear and we obey. And the people of Nabi Musa, the Ummah of Nabi Musa alayhi salam, were horrible at this, horrible. And inshallah, I'm really looking forward to getting about ayah 80 of Surah al-Baqarah, where you find them, what they do is Nabi Musa will give them a command and they will start questioning and ridiculing. For example, they came to Nabi Musa for some help. I think I've mentioned this before. They came to Nabi Musa for some help, and Nabi Musa said, do this. Now what did they say? They say, you're mocking us, Nabi. You're mocking us, Musa. You're making fun of us, aren't you? And Nabi Musa says, I seek refuge from being one of the ignorant ones. They don't want to listen to the Prophet. They just want to, and he says, for example, slaughter a cow. And this is what a lot of us today, as Muslims, we do. Nabi Musa says, slaughter a cow. If I come to Talib, and I say, Talib, I want you to slaughter a cow, please. There's plenty of cows here, and I say, if you want to find Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you want to reach heaven, and he believes in, like, let's pretend I'm a prophet, let's pretend I'm a prophet, and I say, Talib, just slaughter the cow, and you will get your answer, you will get your salvation. What Talib does, is he starts saying, yeah, but what type of cow do you want me to slaughter? And I'll just say, for example, any of the white ones, the white and black ones. And then Talib will say, yeah, but male or female? And I'm like, just slaughter a male and slaughter it now. And then Talib says, yeah, but there's a lot of males, so can you tell me specifically which one it is? Maybe tell me the color of it. Oh, you told me the color. Maybe tell me the color of its horns. And then I'll be like, Talib, slaughter the cow that's over there. And then Talib will say, oh, now you're making sense to me. Now I understand what you're saying. This is the exact same way that they treated Nabi Musa. And we'll see that a bit later on. Instead, and I'm being very clear on my words, go and slaughter the cow. And Talib's like, you know when you really don't want to do something? It's like when somebody comes and asks you a favor, he wants you to do a favor for him, you will come up with any excuse not to do it. You know? For example, Muhammad will come and ask me, can you please move my car? It's running out of parking, move my car. I'll be, yeah, but I don't have your keys. Muhammad gives me the keys, and I look at the keys. I'm like, I don't have any change. Muhammad gives me change. I don't know which car park spot you want me to put it in. He points, he goes to the window and he points to that car park spot. You come up with any excuse, it's a simple request, but I could have just said, please give me your keys and 20 cents, and I'll go do it. But you don't want to do it. And your excuses is so that you don't do it, rather than trying to find a way to do it. So, again, I wandered off, so can you please click? You had one job, man. It's not working. صلوا على محمد وعلى محمد. اللهم صل على محمد. Okay. Now in Surah An-Nisa, it says, indeed, this is the opposite. Okay, we talked about the believers. Now we'll talk about the disbelievers and what they do. It says in Surah An-Nisa 150 to 151, it says, indeed, those who disbelieve in Allah and His messengers and wish to discriminate between Allah and His messengers, say we believe in some and we disbelieve in others, and wish to adopt a way in between. And then the next ayah says, these it is that are truly unbelievers, and we have prepared for the unbelievers a disgraceful chastisement. Now it's very interesting here that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says very clearly, those people that accept some prophets and reject some prophets and try to find a way in between. For example, even as a Christian, okay, let's say they come along and say, look, I believe in Moses, I believe in David, I believe in Abraham, I believe in Jesus, and Muhammad, I don't believe him. I'm going to put him aside as one of those that I just don't believe. But he's a good man, and I respect your religion, and we can unite and become, really good friends in that. And we can, say we're all from the Abrahamic religions, but you're not really from an Abrahamic religion. But yeah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says this is not good enough. This is not good enough. Because He wishes to adopt a way in between. He's trying to find a way to reconcile his belief of rejecting one messenger by saying, he's a good person and, change the world a bit, but, I still want to believe in my religion. Allah says no. In fact, He says, and this is really powerful, أُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْكَافِرُونَ حَقًّا. These are the true disbelievers. And some people might say, the Ahlul Kitab, the belief that, the Ahlul Kitab, the people of the book, They're not kafirs. They're believers. In fact, they are just Ahlul Kitab and they believe in the one God or whatever. They're not kafirs. Okay? That might be true, that they are Ahlul Kitab. But we need to understand what the word kafir means. Okay? The word kafir means somebody that covers the truth. It's as simple as that. Somebody who covers the truth. The biggest type of kafir is the one who covers the reality of Allah within his heart. He disbelieves in Allah, therefore he covers that fitrah that Allah has given him in his creations and he says, I don't believe in God. That's the biggest kafir that you'll find. Another type of kafir, and this happens with any truth. With any truth. Even an angel disbelieving Jibreel alayhi salam, you believe in all the angels, you believe everything, all the prophets, all the books. The one God, but you say, Jibreel, I don't believe in him. That's kufr. That's kufr. And an interesting thing is that the word kafir actually comes from a root word, which shares the root word as a tiller, or a type of farmer, who is also called a kafir. In fact, in the Quran, I believe Surah 59, Allah uses the word kuffar. It pleases the kuffar, or it astonishes the kuffar. Now when you read that in Arabic, you probably think it pleases the disbelievers. What does that mean? But here Allah is saying, actually, it's pleasing the farmers, the tillers. If you actually go to that ayah, it says it's pleasing the farmers. So here, Allah used the word kuffar. Why? A tiller, it's actually the one that covers the soil. So for example, let's say, I'll give you an analogy. If I'm trying to plant something, okay, I'm going to, this is the soil, and then I'm going to dig a hole, and then I'm going to plant a seed in there, correct? The kafir, the farmer type of kafir, will come along and then he'll put dirt in there so that it's all covered up. Okay, that's a kafir. That seed, in the context of Islam, that seed is haqq, is reality, is the truth. The kafir comes along and he covers that up. Okay? Now, an interesting thing, fallah. Does anyone know what a fallah means? A farmer. This is the farmer, the general farmer, where he produces the goods. He nurtures the seeds so that it can come out from it fruit and whatnot, and then people can benefit from it. So now, what the fallah type of farmer does is he waits for this to grow, right? And then he can enjoy the haqq which has defeated batil. Okay? Now, keep that word in mind, fallah. Okay, I'm going to get back to that a bit later. Okay? So, these are the true kafirs. The ones that believe in some and disbelieve in another. Okay? Now, if we go next, please. وَالْبِالْآخِرَةِ هُمْ يُوقِنُونَ. Okay, this is the end of the ayah. And in the hereafter, they have absolute certainty. Okay, so if you click next, Muhammad. So the akhirat, or akhirah, literally means the end. Al-akhir, the end. Okay, so this world is generally referred to as al-ula. And the next world, or the first, or the current. And al-akhirah is referred to the hereafter. Okay, so. Okay. Now they don't just believe. They don't just yu'minun bil-akhirah. They have yaqeen, yuqinun. Okay? In Islam, there's three levels. It's a bit more complicated than this, but in some ahadith, it's limited to 3 levels. The first level is Islam. The second level is Iman, and the third level is Yaqeen. Ahsan. Okay? Islam, you can have Islam without Iman. Let's be very clear about it. Iman is what? Faith, true belief. Islam is what? You know, it's basically the tongue speaking. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. We know this from the Quran, I think in Surah 49, ayah 14, where the Bedouins, Submission, yes. Islam in itself means submission. submission, so basically if the Prophet comes along and he says, I want you to say the Shahada and follow all my rules, and that person says the Shahada and follows all the rules, he can do that, and he's a Muslim, and a good Muslim. But he might not have any faith in his heart. He might not believe in the things that he's doing is a benefit for him. He might not believe that Allah is the true reality. Okay? So, and the Bedouin Arabs in the ayah 49:14, the Bedouin Arabs come and say, we are believers. And the Prophet says to him, don't say that you're believers before true belief has entered into your heart. Say we are Muslims. Okay, say we have submitted. And if you do good deeds and you obey and stay away from the haram, then Iman will inshallah enter into your heart and you will be rewarded. Okay? So Islam, then Iman is that true belief. And then further than that, and inshallah we're all considered among those who believe. But then there's yaqeen. And I spoke about this a bit earlier, about the highest, the pinnacle, the standard bearer, the criterion of yaqeen is Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. I know I get you guys to do a lot of salawats, and you might think it's draining, but believe me, on the day of judgment, you're going to be thanking me, inshallah. And I'll be thanking myself, because inshallah. So, I lost my train of thought. Imam Ali, alayhi salam. No, that's it. We'll be here all night. Okay, so he had the peak of yaqeen, where he said, and he makes clear statements, even if you were to remove all the veils of the unseen world, it would not change my iman one bit. That's it. And so when we say that he بالآخرة هم يوقنون, in that hereafter, if you have that true yaqeen, believe me, and this is for the pious, the muttaqeen, these are the people. If you have true understanding and faith and belief in the hereafter, with certainty, you will become ma'soom on a smaller level. There is acceptance for mistakes, but the level where you do not actively or proactively or desire and actively go and do that thing, you will never sin, believe me. Because with every action, if you're thinking about the hereafter, and not just the idea, sometimes we're about to sin, you're thinking about doing something, whatever it might be, and you've got the idea, I know it's bad for me, and I'm going to get punished in the hereafter, I know I'm going to get punished when I die, but you still do it. You have the knowledge, and you believe in it, but you don't have that certainty that it's going to happen. Because believe me, if you were doing that sin and you saw the reality, like Rasulullah used to see the reality, when people used to backbite, I think Ahmad mentioned this, was it last week? When the Prophet was looking at people and they were backbiting, he would see the reality of it, which would be people eating the flesh of the other person. When he would, for example, and when he went in Isra and Mi'raj, when he saw hell, he saw women hanging from their hairs, being pulled and hanged from their hairs because of those who do not wear hijab. He saw the reality of the sins that we do. Now, if you were to commit that very same sin, but you're actually seeing the punishment that you're going to receive, in fact, even feeling the punishment that you're going to receive, you're not going to do it. It would be ridiculous to do it. It would be insane to do it. But while you have this temporary pleasure, you're going to do it. You're going to be tempted. I'll worry about it later. Yaqeen is having that certainty that yes, if I, for example, Talib walks out and he says, Ahmed, if you walk out, I'm going to punch you in the face. And I can see him from that glass. He would never do that. He wouldn't hurt a fly. If he's standing there, right, and he's going like this, right? Is there any chance I'm going to walk out? No. If it wasn't Talib, if it was someone else who has a different persona, the opposite of Talib, who lives in a parallel world, I would never walk out. But if he says, if I catch you walking out of this room, even though I'm going to Iran to study in Paul for 6 years, then I'm going to punch you. Then I'm going to take it a bit easy, yeah? In fact, I'm going to be like, on that door, I'm going to be like... Because I know that I can get away with it. I don't have that certainty that he's going to catch me. But if you have certainty in the day of judgment, because it will happen, then what's going to happen? You're not going to sin at all. So, salawat.
اللهم صل على محمد.
Okay, so I think I talked about, okay. In Surah 38, ayah 26, pay attention to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says. And he says, and do not follow your desire, lest it should lead you astray from the path of Allah. As for those who go astray from the path of Allah, for them surely is a severe punishment because they forgot the day of reckoning. Because they forgot the day of judgment. The source of all of our desires beating us is because we forget the day of judgment. We might remember it in our heads, but we don't remember the reality. We don't have that yaqeen. Okay? So, if you can go again. I'll skip that because I don't think we've got much time. Keep going. Okay. Okay, fine. Finally for this ayah, do we have a bit of time? 6 minutes. 6 minutes. You don't want to withhold knowledge again like last time. Okay. So, وَبِالْآخِرَةِ هُمْ يُوقِنُونَ. Okay, one more example of true understanding and belief in the hereafter. There are some companions of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Some companions who really at times forgot the hereafter. What would happen is, for example, on the day of Uhud, they were there with the prophets, but as soon as things got a bit shaky, as soon as they thought, oh, the prophet, he might have died, they turned on their heels and ran away, forgetting that on the day of judgment, if they shed their blood in the cause of Allah, the rewards would be immense. But they forgot the day of judgment. At that point in time, all they thought about was what? Their own life. I'll give you another example. There was the Prophet when he migrated. Okay? There was another man along with the Prophet who decided to accompany him to the cave. And what happened was, in the cave, this particular companion, he kind of got a bit anxious and he started crying. And he was, he was grieving. He was like, what's going to happen? We're going to die. The message, you didn't do anything with the message. You haven't done, that's it. We're going to die. The Prophet ﷺ said, look, don't grieve. Allah is with us. He's amongst us. He's going to support us. Okay? And then the angels came down upon him, the Prophet, and supported him. But here, in the other ayahs, for example, Ahmad brought, he said, those who believe in Allah and do good deeds, there is no fear for them, nor shall they grieve. This is an important point. Those people who believe and do good deeds, there will be no fear for them, nor shall they grieve. Whereas some companions, they lost that clarity and they aren't happy with the plan of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They don't have that belief that Allah will protect them. True certainty. And we fall into this trap sometimes, don't we? We say, why me? Ahmed brought it up. Why am I being tested? We don't have that contentment in the plan of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whereas we have other people who, when we were asked to sleep in the bed of the Prophet, that person, you know what he said? He didn't say, will I, fearful, will I die? Am I going to die? What's going to happen? I still haven't gotten married yet. No. He said, will you be safe, Rasulullah? And Rasulullah replies to him, yes, I will be safe. Then he said, it will be a pleasure, even if I die, to sleep in your bed, Rasulullah. Why? Because he knows the reward. He knows that in the next life is the real life. If I die in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it doesn't matter what's going to happen as long as Rasulullah is protected. Okay? Now, last thing, ayah 5, and I'll be really quick, I promised I أولئك على هدى من ربهم وأولئك هم المفلحون. Those, the muttaqeen, You know, after all that we've said, they said, Allah says, those are the people who are upon guidance from their Lord, and those are the ones who prosper. Now, and I'm just going to finish off with this. They are those who prosper. The word here used is al-muflihun. Al-muflihun has the same root word as the falah. They are the successful, they are the ones that prosper, they are the ones that are happy to bring out the truth from batil and defeat the kuffar. And certainly Imam Ali alayhi salam brought out haqq and defeated batil. So I'll end with that, I think. If you click next. Okay, I don't think I have time for this, so I'll end it there. Thank you very much for listening. Inshallah we can continue next week. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل